guys, this is Kelly Martin. I'm a traditionally and independently published author, and today we're going to talk about how to actually write a query. If you watched the other video that I uploaded on Monday, you could see that all the things you have to do before you write a query. So I'll leave that up in the cards. So today we're going to go through how to write a query letter, and we're going to go to Query Tracker, and I'm going to show you how to actually format your query when we get to it. So the first thing we have to do is we have to write our query. Now, a query is a one-page introduction to you that tells the agent or the small press what your book's about you, and possibly why you would want to work together. So remember, it's only one page long. The query part from here to here is one page long. Now, first we have the introduction. Do not, if you hear papers rattling, I'm sorry. If you don't send mass queries at one time. You need to personalize them. You need to personalize it to the agent or to the submissions editor at the small press of where you're going to send it. Now, this is where you need to look on the agent's Twitter or on their website. So you need to personalize this as Dear Miss, Dear Mr., or Dear Mix if the agent is non-binary and would rather have Mix as their introduction. What is that called? It's not Mr. It's not Mix. What do you call that? It's not an introduction. It's a formal greeting. That's what it is. I'm sorry. That took me on a tangent for a minute. Their formal greeting. So you need to go to the website to see what their formal greeting and their pronouns are. So Miss, Mr., or Mix. Now, we are going to assume that I'm sending this to my lovely, lovely editor, Tia Bach, who is now going to be, for this purpose, an agent. She's not an agent, but we're going to say for this purpose, she is going to be an agent. So I'm going to say, Dear Miss Bach. Okay. Now, I have written this out already. This is my actual query, by the way, for The Haunting of Hillard House. But we're going to go through it, and I'm going to tell you what certain things are for how you write your query. All right, we have the introduction, so we're going to highlight that in purple. So that's going to be our introduction. Okay, the first thing you need to have in your query. Now, this can kind of change because some people have this first and some people have this first. It kind of just depends on your personality, on what the agent seems to need first or seems to want first. Actually, after you have this part, you can put how you met or how you know the agent. If it was a pitch contest, if it was on Twitter, if you happen to know a client of theirs, if you saw their manuscript wish list. Manuscript wish list is a great place. It's a website. You can see what all the agents want, or you saw a tweet on things that they want to read. You can say, hey, I saw, well, say it better than that. Dear Miss Bach, on your Twitter account, I saw that you are looking for young adult horror. I have a book that I think would fit your list, and then you can start right here. But for this, we're going to say that I'm cold querying. That means I've not seen anything really that she likes. I went to a Query Tracker and I saw she liked young adult horror, so I'm going to send this to her. So I'm going to start with this. This is your hook. This is your hook. Okay, the hook is the main attention grabber in your query. Okay, mine says, "Love is a beauty splendid thing at lovely abandoned Hillard House. Come in, sit a spell, chat with your host, long dead Miss Doris Marie Hillard, and take some time to kill your beloved." In fact, she insists on it. This was what I used for Pit Dark and Pit Mad actually, and I got some requests from it. So I figured it was a good thing to have on here. So then this part is kind of the meat of your query. It tells the rest. It's like, what is it, Paul Harvey? It tells the rest of the story. So plus size 16-year-old Mina Wright, because I want them to know we have already, I'm pointing at the screen like you can see it. We already have how old she is, so you know it's young adult. We have her name. We have something about her that might not be typical in a lot of books, which is sad, honestly, but we're going to put it in there so the agent knows that that's something that's going on, which sad, but we're going to go with it. Plus size 16-year-old Mina Wright knew she shouldn't have been in the car with her best friend Julie, Julie's boyfriend Justin, and his blunt friend Adam one fall night when heading toward town haunted legend Hillard House. But Julie had insisted Mina go with them, so she went. By the end of the night, Julie is dead, and her boyfriend Justin is charged with the murder. Only Justin didn't do it. He was possessed by the Black Widow of Hillard House, Doris Marie Hillard, who fights boredom by possessing one person in love to kill the other person he or she loves. It's a fun game to her, a game that will cost more lives if she's not stopped. Mina learns that Julie's ghost is stuck in the house and vows to get her out. After all, no one loves Mina. No one will ever be possessed to kill her in the house. Little does she know, when she steps inside with Adam, her life is in serious danger. Dun, dun. Okay, so then you have the part that tells the agent the specifics about your particular book. Let's see, we can do it first. The title is The Haunting of Hillard House. It's complete at 63,000 words. I have used this template for writing a query for this part of the query for as long as I can remember. The Haunting of Hillard House is complete at 63,000 words. It's a young adult horror novel comparable to the modern day The Woman in Black by Susan Hill and Anna Dressed in Blood by Kendar Blake. It is a multiple submission. You need to tell an agent if you're submitting it to other agencies, which is expected. They expect you to send more than one query most of the time to different places, and it'll be on their website if they don't want you to do that. These are called comp titles, comparative titles. They're titles that relate to your book. So mine is like The Woman in Black and Anna Dressed in Blood, two of my all-time favorite books. Now, down here, we have my bio. So what color are we going to do? Bio. Let's do, well, yeah, okay. See, let's see red. Okay. This is my author bio. Now, I wouldn't put author bio, in my letter, but I'm just telling you, this is the author bio. So, my love for all things horror started when I was young and lived in view of an incredibly old, incredibly beautiful, abandoned Victorian-style house on the hill. My mind raced with all sorts of things that had to be happening in that house. I mean, ghosts had to get bored too, right? And that kind of goes back to the story. I'm an active member of the Horror Writers Association based on the sales of my indie book, Heartless. I've written over 40 books, published both independently and with small presses. I've been nominated for several awards, have an active YouTube channel, and understand what it takes to market a book. All of my books have one thing in common. Imagine the real world is tilted on its side. You don't really know what's going on, what's missing, but there's a tilt, a hum you can barely hum. Here, telling you that something is off. So that is my bio. It gives a little bit about me that relates back to the book that I'm trying to pitch. It tells about me as a writer, things that I have accomplished. If this is your first book and you've not, or you don't have a YouTube channel or you don't have any kind of platform, you can tell why you wrote that book and why it was important for you to write that book. And that can be in your author bio too. I'm going to take that part off. If you want to have any more videos or more in depth on how to do an author bio or how to find comp titles or anything like that, be sure to let me know and I will definitely make that for you. Okay, down here, this is kind of the, what do you call it, the salutation on a letter. It's just like a letter when you learn how to write letters in school. If they still do that, we had to learn how to write letters. I think it's the, is it the salutation? Somebody's going to tell me if I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. But this is where you say thank you for your time. I appreciate you, taking your time to read this. The materials you requested are copied and pasted in the email. Now, how do you know what they have requested? Well, I will show you that in just a minute. Then you put your name, and then you put all of your social media or places that the agent can find you. If you only have a Twitter, just put a Twitter. If you don't have anything author related, I would at least get an author Twitter before you query. Either a Twitter or an Instagram, something like that, so you can show the agent that you are going to be on social media and when and if they pick you up, or when, let's be positive, when your book comes out, you're definitely going to be on social media. So at least have that in here. You can have your Facebook page if it's a actual page, not just a profile. You can have anything like that. You can have your Pinterest boards. You can have whatever social media you have. You can put it right here. And then this is everything that you have for a query letter. This is not everything that goes in the email you send, but this is the entire query letter. See, it's all on one page. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be, you would think you have a 63,000 word book or a 100,000 word book or whatever, and you have to condense it down. You do, because they get so many queries, so many queries. So you need to make yours stand out, but it only needs to be one page long. The things that make it longer are the synopsis, which you add later if they ask for it. And we're going to look at that in just a little bit too. SYNOPSIS. 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 Y'all, that's a word. And then the first however many pages they request. Some agents and some publishers only want your query letter to start with. And some want your query letter and synopsis. Some want query letters and pages. Some want the synopsis and pages attached. It just, they will tell you exactly what they want, but you have to hunt it out and you have to find it. Okay, so we are going to assume that Miss Bach here, we're going to make this back to the same color. Okay. If you have any questions about this, leave it in the comments and I will try my best to answer it. Okay, so we're going to assume that Miss Bach here, she has this. There we go. Let me copy it and we're going to put it in an email. I don't think I have Tia's email in this one. Yes, I do. Okay. I'm not really going to send it to Tia, so so you're going to put the agent's email there. On their page, they will tell you what you are supposed to put in here. So generally, they want the word query because they have their emails adjusted to put that in a box. So query the haunting, if I could spell, of Hillard House. And then sometimes I put Martin, especially if they want it with you. Then you just paste your query letter in here. All right. Now let's say that Tia didn't want a synopsis, and she didn't want I've already closed it, so and she doesn't want a first 10 pages. So this is what we would send. Let's say that she wanted a synopsis, NOPSIS, And then I would paste the synopsis right here. And let's say she wanted the first 10 pages. Then I would put the 10 pages down here. Some agents want them attached. Most don't anymore because of viruses, but some of them want things attached, so you would attach the files. There we go. I see some pictures there. So you would attach the files here, and then you would send it. All right. So now we're going to go over how to find agents and where to send their, and how to know what to send where. So this is my querytracker.net. I think I put querytracker.com. I think it goes to the same place. Maybe. Let's see. Querytracker.com and .net. Okay, good. I was right. So they're smart. They bought both things. So this is Query Tracker. Query Tracker has a list of all the agents or all the agents that are on here, and it tells you who you can query. It's a search engine, so that's really nice too. It's free. It does have a paid option. I have the paid option. That's why I have the little star here. Yeah, that's my username. Yep, that's it. So we're going to go to search for agents. And let's say that I'm looking for an agent and I want a young adult, an agent that represents young adult and horror, because I need somebody that will do young adult and horror. Then then it would search. Let's say I want to do young adult and mystery. And see, it'll load and it'll come up. These are the people that I've queried in the past. I have like 4 books on here that I've queried. So on this particular one, I've queried a lot. It tells you the agent's name. It tells you the agency they work for. It tells you the query methods. They have online forums. They have email. This means it's closed to queries right now, so that's really awesome. It tells you which country they're located in, and it tells you if they have any comments on their profile. And then if you query them, it gives you details of everything that you've sent. We're just gonna pick a random person. I'm gonna go back to horror. Okay, we're gonna pick Caitlin Johnson. Okay. Now it tells you she was here, she's here now. It's going to tell you where to find her website and her Twitter. So we're gonna go to her Twitter. There we go. And it tells you where to message her. Now, we're going to go to her website. We're going to go to About Us. And it tells you everything about these agents. We're going to Caitlin Johnson because that's where we found who we're searching for. Tells you everything about her. It tells you her favorite book. She loves supernatural. There we go. You want to submit a story to Caitlin. You click it in here, and she actually has an online form, so that is awesome. And you don't have to send her an email query. You just paste in what it tells you to paste. Queries 1 page, synopsis no more than 2 double-spaced pages, the first 5 pages. And she tells you exactly what she's looking for. She wants creepy dolls and curses, less blood and guts in her horror. There we go. Sounds good to me. She likes paranormal, ghosts, witches, vampires, if unique, and open to new legends. She wants things that are not mainstream. There we go. So she wants you to put in your first, last name, email, phone number, biography, which is what we just copy and paste that we had before, your website if you have one, Twitter if you have one, if you've been previously published, if you've been with an agent before, how many copies you've sold your first year if you've self-published, if it's a referral, and then this tells you about your book, your query letter, synopsis, first 5 pages, your pitch is a 1-sentence pitch for your book, then you hit submit. So that's awesome. She has an online form. Those makes things a lot easier. You just copy and paste. You put exactly in there, where they need to go. Okay, so let's pick another agent and see if they have something different. This lady, this agent wants email queries. So let's go to her. Becky LeJeune from Bond Agency. You can find her on Twitter. We're going to go to her website. We're going to go to About Us. About Us or Agents is usually where you find about them. Here's Becky. That's who we're looking for. She's interested in adult and teen general fiction, horror, mystery thriller, historical fiction, science, fantasy, and cookbooks. And it tells you a little bit about her biography. She's open to queries, and that's where you query her. And please see the submission guidelines. So we're going to go to submission guidelines. To query, please email no physical mail. You query that place addressed to the agent you wish to target, either Sandra, Becky, or Patrick. Include your query in the body of the email, no attachments. If you are certain your book is appropriate for us, if you're querying about a novel, please include the first 5 pages in the body of your email, no attachments. Okay, and if it's nonfiction, your query letter should provide enough information about the project and your credentials for us to determine if we want to see your proposal. Please have your proposal ready. Okay, and of course, no phone calls. They will do their best to respond, but they may not get to it, which is fine. So you need to write that down if they're going to respond, if they have a certain timetable that they're looking at, and things like that. All right. So now we're going to try one more. Let's do, let's do Evan Gregory. All right. If you go to Query Tracker, you can find the comments, everything that people have messaged him about. We're going to go to the main. There's his Twitter. We're going to go to the website. Submission guidelines. We could go to our agents first. And we're looking at Evan Gregory. He's been at the agency since 2008. He's accepting clients. So, and that's his Twitter because he will probably have everything he wants on his Twitter. We'll go to submission guidelines. You need to follow our submission guidelines precisely. Electronic submissions is what they want, what they're looking for, established to new writers in a wide range of genres. So it kind of tells you about the genres they want. How to submit by email. Okay, here's the email that you're going to email this one to. Paste all materials in the body of the email so you're not going to attach anything. They want a brief query letter followed by your synopsis in the first 50 pages, and they're not going to open a synopsis. Not going to open an attachment. For fiction, your submission should include a brief query letter, a synopsis, and the first 50 pages of your manuscript. For nonfiction, a brief query letter and a book proposal. For a picture book, a brief query letter, complete manuscript, and 4 to 5 images of sample illustrations pasted to the body of the email. If you have them, illustrations are not required for picture books, and you may submit only the text. And illustrators, please send a brief query letter, 4 to 5 images of sample illustrations pasted to the body of the email, and the link to online portfolio. And they actually take mail submissions. And this tells you how to do that. I've never done a mail submission, so that is pretty cool. Okay, so those are 3 different agents with 3 different ways to query them. Now, if you have any questions on how to send a query, be sure, or how to write a query, be sure to put it in the comments, and I will be happy to either make another video about it or to answer in the comments if it's, if it's not like a 50-page long answer for you. So, there we go. That is the basics of how to write a query letter. Remember your introduction, your greeting. You need to start with your greeting. Be sure you know how your agent wants to be addressed. Make sure you know how to spell their last name correctly. Be sure to check all that. Then you need your hook. Then you need the meat or the rest of your story. Then you need to tell the agent or the small press about your book, the title, how many words it is, what genre it is, and some comp titles to go with it. And that is a multiple submission if it's a multiple submission. And then you need your bio, and you will need all this too if you were to submit to an online form. So it's not just for the email like we saw before. Okay. Then you have your thank you for your time, your materials you requested are copied and pasted to the email, or you can just put pasted to the email. There. And then you put your name and where they can find you. Some people also put their phone number at the bottom. So if you happen to get a call or if they need to call you, it's there. And then you go to Query Tracker, which is, I think, one of the easiest places to find agents. And it tells you everything you need to know from there. So we're going to reset this. There we go. You can tell them if you want to hide an agent, or this is advanced search. They do have basic searches. We're going to go there. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, be sure to let me know, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.